Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Tuesday, December the 20th. The year's 2022. Let's talk trading. Sticking to your plan, part 2 with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and differ from Walmal's. Walmal, yesterday, I talked to the traders about how important it is to sticking to your plan. What's your thoughts?
Oh, what is my thought? That's a funny question to ask. And the reason why I say that is because, yeah, I try to stick to my plan all the time, and yeah, I do what I can to go and stick to it. And to be honest with you, guys, I don't blow it often, but I do blow it. It's just the reality. In fact, I was talking to TRO yesterday or actually right after the video, and it was the type of thing where I was just saying, the funny thing about sticking to your plan is if I had stuck to my plan, on that day, I would have, on yesterday, I would have made my pips, tenfold over very easily, but it was the type of thing where, unfortunately, because I didn't stick to my plan, I didn't capture what I should have captured. I didn't put in the bank what I should have put in the bank, and that's the problem with not sticking to your plan, because you have a plan for a reason. So, and if you don't believe it, well, actually, before I get to that, you have a plan for a reason. You have a plan because you know that that's what works, that keeps you in a situation where you don't blow your capital. You preserve your capital at all costs, is like I like to say over and over again. And at the same time, by sticking to your plan, you have a plan to go forward. It allows you to go and make an offensive move in the right direction, to go and put more money in the bank. And that's the whole point of having a plan. And but that, sticking to your plan, I think there's a part of this that maybe we should talk about a little bit, and that is, why don't you stick to your plan? And there could be a number of reasons. The number one reason could be you're just an impulsive person, and you're going to go do what you're going to do. And, this type of thing where, sort of like, are you the kid in high school where, you knew what the rules were, but you said, the heck with the rules, I'm going to do what I want to do, not what the rules say to do. And I'm not a person to go and say didn't break the rules in high school, because I broke lots of rules in high school. Go look at my detention record. I'll prove that out. But, but at the same time, you need to go and be disciplined and follow what, you said you're going to go and do. And if you're not doing it just because you're an impulsive person, well, I've said this before in the past, maybe this game is not for you. Or at least the game's not for you until you learn to go and control that portion of your personality, and learn to be a little bit more disciplined. And that's what I had to go and learn. That was the biggest problem for me. It's sort of like, I had a plan, I laid out a plan, try to execute the plan, and then all of a sudden a squirrel runs by, and all of a sudden I'm following the squirrel's plan instead of my plan, and that just gets you all tied up into knots. And I alluded to this before, and I'll get into this now. And there's another reason why you're not sticking to your plan is maybe because you don't trust your plan. Okay, why don't you trust your plan? Has your plan proven that it doesn't work? And this is the key phrase here, over a long period of time? Or you just don't trust your plan because you're just not trusting your plan?
Oh, you know what happens, Walmal, is on the trusting your plan is, you'll sit there and you'll watch it, and you'll say, oh, if I only, entered there. And you might do that maybe 2, 3, 4 times. Well, on the time that you pick to enter, that's when it doesn't work. And then you're all frustrated. And then you sit there and you watch it, and you miss out on a couple more, and you just have that ability to try to discretionarily enter your plan as opposed to just sticking to it. And it's like that little saying I came across: a simple algorithm will beat, discretionary traders, almost over and over and over again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially if you've got a system that's very, very mechanical in nature, you know. And the thing is, the algorithm will definitely be if we can go and somehow figure into an algorithm the things like, news drops and what news drops do, and and I'm sure the big boys have that built into their plans. They've got ways to go and build that in. Unfortunately, us as retail traders, we don't have as much. We may have all the information, but we don't have the ability to go and factor all that stuff in to go and make those safe bets. And unfortunately, that kind of hurts us a little bit. Doesn't mean you can't win. It just means that, hey, yeah, that's got to be part of our plan to know that, hey, you know, this may run against us, and some of the ways you go and mitigate against this, and I say this all the time, and I know, Kira, you'll go and trade it more than I will. That's news events. A news event happens for me. My trading plan says, go away, go get yourself a cup of coffee, enjoy the move, but don't be part of the move. And the reason why is because I've learned over time that, for me anyway, I don't make money. What happens is I'll get a great day, I'll get a great score on one day, and the next day I'll give it all back plus some. And so for me, it's just not worth it's not worth it. So that's me. But on the other hand, I know there are guys out there, I've seen it, where they just time in and time again, they'll make money and make lots of money off of news events. Good. More power to them. Let them do it. Make that part of your trading plan if you know a way to go and do that. But for me, I can't do that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing though, Walmal, we can probably rat each other out where,
Oh yeah.
you even say, hey, I'm taking an airball trade, and it's like, why are you doing that? And you're like, I don't know.
Well, that happened yesterday. You ratted me out. You called me on the carpet yesterday because I went into a trade, and you said, why? I said, it's an airball trade. Well, why are you doing it? I said, and my answer was, it, based on how price was moving, I went and took the trade, but I was only looking to get a pip or two from it. And I got lucky and I got my pip or two. But the problem with going and taking trades like that is that because I did not go and follow my rules, what can very easily happen is that I can get in a habit of doing that. And here's the problem with habits. Habits expand. And the next thing you know, oh yeah, yesterday was because of the way price was moving. But that's kind of a legitimate reason to get into a trade. Problem is, next time it may be, well, because the sky was blue. And that could be my reason for entering a long trade, because I want to go towards the blue sky. And that's not a legitimate reason to go and enter a trade. That now you got, not only do you have an airball trade, but you got an airball trade that's based on nothing. And now you've taken your entire trading plan and you didn't just put it in the trash can. You went and set it on fire, put it in the trash can.
And shredded it.
Exactly. And now you got a problem because what happens is, usually pride sits in at that point, and you don't get out of the trade and say, hey, I'm just going to go take my 3, 4, 5, 6 pip loss, whatever it may be. You stick to it because I can't lose this. This wasn't an airball trade. You stop playing those games. At least I do. It's like, I'm not going to go and let that happen to me. I got to prove to the world that I was right. Well, the problem is, in your process of trying to prove to the world, you may prove to the world that you just emptied your account. and I've seen guys do that.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we hit top of the hour, so.
Yes, we did. You had gotten yourself in a little bit of trouble, last hour on something, and and I think this is very helpful. Because what happened was I wasn't harsh on you or hard on you, but I was asking you very, very specific, probing questions as to where did you mess up, okay? Because you got yourself into trouble and you had opportunity to get out. Where did you mess up? Where was the point where you got yourself into some trouble? And the thing is, if you got a trading buddy, that can help. The other thing that can help is be honest with yourself. Okay, look at your trade and say, hey, I got into this mess here. Why did I get into this mess? And be honest. Maybe develop a set of questions. Maybe it's something that, Kira or I can do or you can do or do in conjunction. Questions you should ask yourself after you get yourself into a little bit of a mess. And hopefully in that learning experience, we realize, hey, we broke our trading plan here, and we had opportunities because, generally speaking, when we get ourselves into a mess, we don't just go and do it once. We find we go back and are honest with ourselves. We had multiple opportunities to correct this, so not necessarily correct it, but mitigate against the mess.
Yeah, no, I can actually show everybody what happened was on this, I'll expand the chart here. On this candle here, this M5 closed bullish, so I jumped in on the next M5, but you could see this one came out of the launch pad, so I'm looking for 60. I was up 3 pips, I didn't take it, and you see what happened next. And then my next mistake was I started averaging in. I think I might have even averaged in here. Well, that was a mistake because M30 at the time was red. And it's like most of my problems are entering on a red M30. And so then price came all the way down here. And I just sat on my hands finally till this M30 closed. And then it actually hit the double O. And it was like, okay, I'm going long. And I managed to escape with the profit.
Right, and the thing is, though, you made a mistake, and then you made a second mistake, and that makes it twice. Not only say make it twice as bad, it doesn't mean that you can't get out of it. You had a limit as to how far you were willing to go and lose in terms of money. So therefore, you stuck to that plan. That's the one rule that no matter what, it's got to be number one rule in your trading plan. It's got to be. In fact, in my trading plans that I've written over the years, it's the number one rule, it's the middle rule, and it's the last rule. Just to keep on reminding myself that, hey, this is something that's serious, and it's usually in 1-inch block letters, red, and if paper could blink, it would be blinking too. And that's what you got to do, and you got to be able to go and do that and stick to the plan. And the reality is, unfortunately for you, you didn't do what you really should have done. And actually, and I kind of disagree with you on one thing. You said you should have gotten out with 3 pips. I don't think that was a mistake on your part, and I said this to you earlier. And the reason why I don't think it was a mistake was because you were taking a 40 launchpad type of trade, and you had your 3 pips, and you, based on what you do with your trading plan, you look for it to go and hit 60. Well, and I think that's what you were doing at the time, and then it turned around and went against you. So that, to me, that's not a breaking your plan, because it really is part of your plan. I think the biggest problem was that, when they started to go down, now this is, again, me different from you. I personally would have just either taken a short at that point, look for an opportunity to take a short, not as a hedge, but to go and it's a new opportunity, and stuck in that trade all the way to the bottom where I got the opportunities to go long again, and then at that point I would have probably turned off my short, but some people call that hedging. That's not hedging because they're 2 separate trades. Or I would have just said, okay, I made it. It didn't turn out. Trade just didn't work out. Some trades don't get out. Wait for the next opportunity, and then you would have had the opportunity to get a nice little short there.
Yeah, and guess what, traders? The fastest 15 minutes in trading is over. So there's just something, to be said for sticking to your trading plan. It, might be one of those things. It's like, well, why even telling me that? Well, it's because sometimes you just need to be reminded, because sometimes you don't do it. And just remember, when you're trading, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the TheRumpledOne, over and out.